you guys would be the perfect example for, study case for people to look at, for relationships. Yeah, exactly. Like I was just like, that is inspiring and powerful. And the test, bro, if you knew their testimony, oh my God, it's insane. Choice. Yeah, well, that's love is a choice, bro. Yeah. Always, right? Like you, no matter what your partner does, you have the choice to either forgive them and want to, make it work, or not, right? Yep. And so that's just a fact of life, right? You've always got a choice on how you handle something. But you guys, to go through everything that y'all went through, and think about it, marriages don't last 2 years nowadays, right? It's probably more common to get a divorce than to get married. And you guys not only are just an example of like when two people actually care for each other and are willing to sacrifice and struggle and promote each other's like benefits and interest and compromise, right? Because it's all about working together. Um, you can really do amazing things, bro. And the thing about this guy here, Ricky, I'm talking to my friend. He said, Ricky, say hey. So everybody, hey, how you doing? Is bro, he is just the most kind and gentle, just free loving spirited guy I've ever met, right? But he's trained military, kill you in a heartbeat. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? But he really takes the time to promote his partner's interest and well-being, and takes the time to be attentive to how she feels and what she wants and her wants and desires. And that's shit you don't see nowadays. And more men and women need to learn that. Exactly. More men and women need to learn that. Exactly.
Relearn it.
Men need to be respected, right? We need to feel respected, and women need to feel loved and nurtured and heard and taken care of, right? Well, it's very hard for a man to want to love and nurture and care for something when if they're not being respected, right? And vice versa. So those are things that just you have to pay attention to. But you guys, like, not only were able to go through traumatic experiences, but still hold it together, still stay together, make it to 20 years, create a successful business that is generating, income, not just making it by, like successful, right? For multiple years, bro, it's powerful. And I think you guys could really share that story with people and just help a lot of people, really.
I appreciate the gesture. She made me bend the knee, man. That's what it was, man. That's how it worked. She made me bend the knee, dog.
That's it, man. Sometimes, you know what, you got to submit to. No matter how masculine you are, you got to have some willingness to kind of, submit a little, especially for somebody you care about, right?
Yeah, just a balance of things, man.
It
Masculine,
is.
masculine, divine feminine energy colliding and really bringing it back from back in the day, how they did things and incorporating it now because of the whole agenda is to separate families.
It is.
What's that saying? Separate, conquer, divide and conquer.
Conquer and divide. Yeah.
Yeah,
Divide and
it's put in
conquer.
all the way up to military warfare. You know what I'm saying? So if you can separate the household, you conquer that. If you can make the woman believe that she can survive without the man, even though they have kids, um, and you convince her to believe that shit, and she does it, then it's over with. If you believe the man that is always better, is always greener on the other side than what you already have in the home, then you've accomplished your goal. And to understand that is what the plan is, and to do that and to counter that, you've already beat the battle. Now it's just eternal between the husband and the wife on how y'all proceed from that point on, man. It's real simple, man. It's no different than to society, which I was just talking about as it relates to finances and stuff like that. If you can make a person believe that they can't go out individually, this shit that they got going on with this monetary system, and just subject yourself to whatever they put out there, then you've already lost the battle, man. You have already lost the battle. The things that Walt is doing and what you're doing, Chris, and others are doing is making people think outside the box. When we had a daycare, man, one thing that my wife brought up that resonates with me to this day, and when I counsel people, this is something I tell people. The whole thing in pre-K and kindergarten is to draw within the box, draw within the circle. The first time you take that crayon and go outside the circle, go out the box, the teacher comes over you and reprimands you and went over away. That institutionally teaching you at a very young age to stay within the parameters. If you go outside the parameters, you will be punished in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So it's instilled in kids. And the very first time that you start going outside of those parameters, these different entities come in and look at you like, what the fuck you doing to my program? You're glitching my program. And now you're bringing other people along. Now it's a problem. So we advocate for drawing outside of the box, taking a crayon and going outside the box and see what else you can create besides a box and a circle. Now you got triangles. Now you got octagons. Now you got rectangles. Now you got all these other things going on.
Now you
And
got diversity, variety, you've got choices, you got options, which is what they don't want you to have.
they don't want you to have that, man. They don't
You
want
know,
you.
it's weird that y'all say that, but when you think about how they break up the family, it was one simple tool. And you would think that it's like putting you in the workforce. Everybody go to work. You don't matter if you're an animal or whatever, you're going to work in some way. The real tool they used was overly sexualizing everything.
Yeah.
If a human being is overly sexualized, they're going
Honestly,
to eventually stop wanting to be with the person they want because that person is either going to get burned out or looking for some other way to stimulate that desire. So now they're looking outside of themselves, they're looking outside the relationships, they're on the internet, they at work looking for it. They at the grocery store when the woman most likely was supposed to be cooking. She at the grocery store looking for it. You got keep my woman at the house then so she can't look for it. But then they had the milkman, the paper boy,
hmm,
the mailman, the milkman, the paper boy, and who else was coming?
the
The
pool boy,
plumber.
the
All
pool
them
boy
people
too.
coming over there overly sexualized and they at work. So if you at work and you overly sexualized, they at work at your house. You got the nannies now, the maids now, they over sexualized, humping the man of the house while the woman is gone. Like he didn't just hump her that morning before he left type shit. You got overly sexualizing of the children. It's
Mm,
causing them to be
worst part.
confused. And then you would say that that's the workforce depleted the household. Nah, if you chasing something like that, you not paying attention to where you are. You're not paying attention to your household. And that's how they destroyed everything. You can't go online now and see something that's not sexualized in some way. You can't see a
Mhm.
commercial. You can't even go and watch your own superhero shows but overly sexualizing something. I
Show
started
me a movie that don't have somebody
watching,
cheating in it, right? I
and
was
man,
looking at that.
it's weird.
I was like, every movie. Is this a movie that ain't got nothing to do with cheating or relationships or nothing? But it's just like a little side scene. And here's some dude cheating on his wife or some wife cheating on her husband. And just like, why is that here? Why? This is literally fucking. I'm watching the Muppets,
So
bro.
y'all
Like,
watched that Deadpool movie? Like I
yeah,
only watched like the first 10 seconds. I couldn't watch no more than that. It just started out just over the top, looking my butt, touching me,
it
looking my
was
ass.
very crazy
And I
funny.
was like, yo, okay, we get it. We get it. You gay, we get it. Like, dang, let's go through the plot. And he was like, nah, that is the plot. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I was like, I can't even keep this up. I had to let that go after like 10 seconds.
I
And
don't
that
watch
was
TV
just the first
anymore
10 seconds.
because of it.
Oh
Yo, to
man,
build on
it's
that, I can't even believe that they made like Deadpool so like gay.
Yeah,
Cause
like
he
it
was
that's
was
like one of the most
weird.
military
ruthless.
though.
He was like one of the most ruthless superheroes out. That's why he was like. You see how he destroyed people out there, but they had to make something else. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? To put something else in there, like, and they just made him so like move so gay.
Did you see the
But though,
Flash?
but though he had a girlfriend. You feel what I'm saying?
Did you see the
They
Flash?
did the Flash wrong, but I stick with
Well,
Netflix Flash.
that was
I don't
the
know who that
gayest
other Flash.
superhero movie I've ever seen in my life, bro. And he was literally at one point he was wearing like this fucking sweater. It was like a pink, like fluffy sweater or something. And I was just like, what the fuck are they doing? Like this is Flash,
Hey,
like
honey,
on Earth.
protecting. What are you talking about, boo boo?
Like his whole plot was to save his girl and save his mama and save her family. And all of a sudden he was like, but you know what? I did all that. Now I'm gay. Like, what in the world? How in the world you change the flash up like that?
It
Like,
was
that's not
very
even
strange.
level.
I do agree though that over sexualization is a huge key. You know, they've also used that times in the past, right? Before like Germany really like descended and shit. They had all the promoting of the transgenderism and homosexuality and all of those things. Anything they can do to get that man to leave that house and to get that woman to get that man to leave that house, right? Because they know just statistically a child without their father is, I think it's like 60% or more likely to be incarcerated, right? More likely to repeat the same shit that they did, right? Because here's just the facts. I don't care. He touched on in just a few minutes ago. Um, for a woman to think that you don't need a man is insane if you have children, right? It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Just like for a man to say I don't need a woman. If every fucking body decided that that was the right answer, into the human race, first of all, right? If we just all decided I don't need no woman and a woman don't need no man, we're all fucking gone. The race is over with. Second of all, if you got a son, I don't care how good that woman is, bro. She could be the most respectable, the most intelligent, woman in the entire world. She cannot teach that little boy how to be a man. I don't care how good she is. She does not know how to be a man. She can literally instill certain values in that boy, right? She can tell him what she might look for in a man and try to get, but she don't know how to teach him how to be no man. And I have no idea. I could not even begin to start to teach my little girls how to be a woman. I have no clue what that is like. The battery charger.
Yeah, I feel you on that. You know what I mean? Being a guy that like lost his mom early, you know what I mean? I was just like, blessed to have a mom that was like a fighter though. She was like the
Yeah,
baby of the family, but she was a fighter. Like she would put hands on men and women. You feel what I'm saying? So it was like
sounds like my
she had
mama.
that warrior spirit in her. You feel what I'm saying? But my pops, I don't know where that guy yet, still to this day. You feel what I'm
That
saying?
sounds like my daddy.
Y'all having a deep conversation. I came in at the right time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you
Like,
missed a lot, bro. Mr. Turner just he spit some damn game, bro. Like it was, yeah. And honestly, yeah, so did JoJo. That was very good points, and honestly, probably the root of all the problems. Uh,
starts at home, man.
it does. It does. Well, it starts with the separation of home, right?
Mm.
Yeah, you take the father away, bro. That right there. Your chances of going to prison, getting shot and killed, um, like literally struggling and being, impoverished your entire life, like all of those stats jump through the roof from that one simple thing, just removing the father. And like JoJo said earlier, right? If you over sexualize everything, you keep
Mm.
everybody looking for something else, right? If the man's too busy looking for another woman, he's not at the house, right? He's not at home. He's not teaching those children. He's not, because we've all got qualities. We got masculinity, we got femininity, we got testosterone, they got estrogen, but we both got all of those, right? And there's certain qualities that a man has that's going to instill into a young man that a woman just doesn't really possess. Just think about like an emergency was to happen, right? Most of
Mm.
the time, the woman is immediately going to want to care for the whoever's injured, right? She's going to want to nurture the one that's been attacked or whatever, right? And the man is going to snap into, I'm going to fucking kill whoever just touched him, right? I'm going to protect, I'm going to defend, but those two totally different ways of going about the situation, but both focused on the same thing, right? Which is making sure this child is okay, but it's totally
Right.
different ways of looking at it, and it's because we're different. Like I'm
Yeah,
sorry, bro. There's
because
a
we
man,
both we
there's a
both
woman.
we both have the same thing, you know what I mean, but more of the others, you know what I mean, which more concludes to that us together makes us complete. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's what they don't want. That's what they.
Exactly. The
Real spill.
KGB did studies, and they said that there was actually two main points of to really like attack and just completely break down like a civilization or a culture, and it is the race card and the sex card.
For sure.
Those two issues are the easiest way to create division and just shut some shit down. And it's
Hold
really,
on. We can't we
it's.
can't we can't we can't forget about just the monetary system itself, because that's a
I was
game in
about to
itself.
say,
It
yeah,
forces
yeah.
forces the parents away from the kids and all that for nothing. You feel
That's
what I'm
Mm-hmm.
what I
saying?
was
Like
about to
everybody's
say.
out working for nothing.
It's
You feel what I'm saying? So
classism.
it's a easy division.
It's classism, is what it is,
Yeah,
For
right?
sure.
that's it,
Above anything, above races, because here it is: a poor white guy and a poor black guy. They gonna literally go through the same shit, bro. We're probably gonna go to the same county jail. They gonna go to the same prison. You're the same shit, right? They live on the same block.
You can find common ground when both people have, or both scenarios when nobody has anything, right? It's a
Right.
lot easier to humanize, you feel me, the connection points. And that goes back into like the mindset where a lot of the times we're looking at the bias from an individual's track record, right? But a lot of the times I also feel like it's a matter of why you made the choices. Why is it that the decision became so prevalent? I was in a conversation, it's a guy named Crypto Denzel, and he has an entire community as well called Blockwave.
Yeah.
They did a conference yesterday with the technical analysis and going over some of the things that were
I
going
was
on
there
in
with
there.
you actually.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And as they got more into like different topics, right, they were able to not only highlight these connection points based off of where everybody's understanding was, but they told us to journal, right, and that
Right.
would allow you to create a backtrack for the decisions that were made, why you made them, and you can start to evolve your overall mindset. Now they were talking about trading psychology, but in a lot of ways in consulting, whenever I'm taking notes, it helps to build on my own customer avatar, right? So the things that I pay attention to, there's a reason. There's different factors that play into it that subconsciously uh, alter the decisions that I make on the day to day. So being able to understand those allows me to then, all right, I have another way to relate, right? I have another way to equal out the ground, and I feel like exactly what we're doing here. It's information thing. If we're starting off with the experience of knowledge, if we're starting off with knowledge in and of itself, right, then we're sharing a basis of power before we even start moving into projects to apply and to gain, to leverage that power, to leverage that community, right? So showing people the power of the mind really comes from not only the conversations that we have, but also being able to rationally break down our own standpoints, to break down our own biases, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Agree.
Very
honestly,
Agree.
that's that. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I was
ahead.
saying I agree. I agree.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know.
Wow, man, that's really what it's all about. And you know what? To touch on that too, you can always tell when somebody has been through a lot of shit, right? Because they're probably going to have a good sense of humor. They're probably going to be a lot more understanding. They're probably going to be a lot more humble and willing to work with others, right?
Because they don't want somebody else to go through that pain.
Right, because you've been through that shit. You know what it's like. Shit sucks. You don't want to see someone else go through that. You know, somebody's walking around all fucking snobby and entitled, like everybody owes them something. Bro, they've had an easy life. They've had it so smooth. They don't know what it's like to really struggle or suffer. They've had daddy's money or whatever to back them up their whole bro. There's no way that somebody who's actually had to go through some shit and find a way to climb back out of that to get back to a stable and positive like frequency and state of mind to be able to do something successful. Nobody that's went through that is gonna inflict bullshit or feel entitled to feel like anybody owes them anything, right? Because shit, most of the
I
time, if
totally
somebody
agree.
does owe me, I don't get paid. So, like, what's the sense in all that, man? Nobody owes anybody anything except respect,
Right. There we go.
love.
That's the major key right there. If you can respect the process enough to actually do the things that you say you're going to do, that builds the integrity, right? And a
It
lot
does.
of the times I look at people that have that elitist perspective, right? And I won't say that it's a pity that I feel, but it's more of a matter of until you have somebody that reaches their hand out to help you despite that elitist perspective, despite that, a lot of the times there'd be no need for you to change your perspective. But that goes back to another thing where empathy without bounds is self-destruction, right? So in a lot of ways, trying to help somebody who has a mindset of how can I use you rather than how can I benefit or how can I add value here, that can be a hindrance. But I look at it like people being jaded from a spiritual perspective, right? Over time, if you feel as though you've been doing everything on your own, but in reality, it's your whole support system behind you, you're not counting in those things. Once that's gone from you, when you look back in your
Yeah,
own from your
sure.
own perspective, right? You still have so many pride points that if you were to change those pride points, it would change who you are,
Who
right? It
you
would
are.
change, yeah, it would change your projection onto the world, which then gives out different energies, and you will see different things that align with that. But to have somebody even take that leap to hop over that paradigm, that's where I have paywalls and things of the sort, right? Because if money is energy, if it's just a concept, if it's just energy,
Right.
what you put your time and energy into will grow, right?
Yes, it will.
So it's just so many different aspects where it comes to the elitism that I'm seeing now is literally because we've been miseducated, right? And to kind of unlearn some of the positive or negative coping factors and add new things to make it more viable. That's where I'm starting to see, like, okay, we're having more conversations on the day-to-day, the interactions that we're having with people, and that's been more and more impactful as we're going on. Just touching on the business aspect of it, like contracts and consulting, like a lot of the times before I even start talking about DeFi, I'm just going over like life coaching skills, different things of the sort. And that's where a lot of the value is added for individuals, because it's I won't say it's nothing, but it's not that big of a deal to put something on paper. It's really a big deal to abide by it, right?
Yeah. And to comprehend what's on that paper, right? And that's why you like we say it all the time. It does start with mindset. Everything starts with mindset. Like we started off with, it's a choice, right? Loving someone, respecting someone, forgiving someone. Those are all choices that you have. You get to decide ultimately, right? Now you can let your emotions get in the way and trump all that logic shit if you want to, but it's probably not going to benefit you or work out the way you think it is, right? Because we all do dumb shit when we're angry or emotional, right?
Right.
So it's really hard to be logical and rational when your emotions are in charge. Uh,
Facts.
but you can choose to discipline yourself and have like emotional intelligence, right? That's a real thing. Like it's a real thing, and I guess a lot of people don't know about it. Like the ability to just be like, yeah, I'm pissed off. I don't like this situation. Yeah, this is getting on my fucking nerves. But what about the other person involved in this situation? I wonder what they're feeling.
Empathy and
What are
sympathy.
they going through? Right? That's
Facts.
emotional intelligence. That's the ability to be able to see that, you know what, my feelings and the way I want to handle this situation might not be the best way. Right? I'm going to be intelligent about this and consider their emotions and how they feel about this situation. And then maybe we can find some common ground and work through this.
Right. Right. And honestly, that's where Mind Mups. It's a site called Mind Mups, and I was put onto it by a media professional, just in terms of getting different things, abstracts down. But I've been using that platform in talk therapy. So as a part of the consulting, you know what I'm saying? Talk therapy bleeds into creating a new goal or a new strategy, right? So a lot of the things that we're avoiding actually holds the answer. Right.
Yeah, it
And a
does.
lot of the times people already have the answer, but because it seems this isn't going to work, or my dad said that's dumb, or my mom
Yep.
said when she tried it, we inherit a lot of those biases into it. I have a question for you though, like really for real, Chris. Is there a limit to your empathy or your compassion, given now that being able to share information? Is there a limit that you place on pretty much how much you're sharing, or how much time and effort you dedicate into opening perspective?
It depends on the partner.
Yeah,
How much
definitely.
they put in.
Good point. Yeah, it definitely depends on the partner and the situation for sure, right? Because let's just be real about it. We've all had people that we've overlooked some red flags like a motherfucker, right? Because we just was really into that person, right? So we just overlooked that shit.
And
But there's also been the reverse side of that, right? Because it's all about polarities, same end of the frequencies and shit, right? There's been people that has just did the smallest little thing, and all of a sudden you don't fuck with them, right? No, I don't fuck with that dude no more. I ain't like this.
and they've been genuine.
Right. And they really, maybe it was just kind of a small thing, but it's just something, just the energy, the part. So I would say, yeah, there's a limit, but the limit is because honestly, come on, let's be real. Nobody just is just all the way out in the open completely about themselves, right? Most people can't even do that in their own mind, talking to themselves. So
Ooh.
let's just be real. Come on now.
Yep.
I'm see that's how raw and real I'm gonna be. I'm gonna tell you, hell yeah, I lie sometimes. right? Because I'm gonna lie to my child if there's something crazy going on, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna go tell my child that their mother just got decapitated. Right,
Right, right,
you're
right.
not gonna do no shit like that. And if you do, you're fucked up in the head, bro. That child is a child, bro. But so that's kind of where I stand on that, right? I'm gonna be real all the way. Because and real is not always honest, right? Real is not
Ooh,
always true. Real is not always glitz and glamour. Real is struggling like a motherfucker sometimes, right? But then a fake motherfucker would try to present like everything's just grand and good, right? But you got to be
right.
real with yourself first. And honestly, if you be real with everybody else, it saves you so much time and energy and effort.
And
Because,
heartache.
bro, you know how hard it is to keep up with just like some bullshit, right? A lie, to just keep a lie going, that's just, it's too much energy, bro. I ain't got time for that. I'd rather put
Got
that
to
energy
remember.
into something productive, right? Let's do something cool, bro. Let's build some shit. Let's help some people. Let's do something positive. Let's vibrate on a little bit higher frequency. I ain't got time to be vibrating all low with that line shit, bro. And then I gotta keep up with that shit. And then the worst thing is you
Exactly.
get caught up in it. You get caught up in the line. Now you look ridiculous. So this whole line that you were putting on to like make these people believe something or think something about you,
Not only do you look dumb, but you feel
and
dumb.
now you just like have the complete opposite effect, right? Because now they're gonna find out you're full of shit and nobody likes you. It's so
Right,
stupid.
right.
You're
And
lying to
that's
impress
ethics.
someone that ends up making them not even fuck with you no more.
Yeah.
So just cut all that out the way and get to business.
You can't
That's
even
what I
run
say.
it effectively.
I'm,
Uh,
how about go ahead.
can't you can't because you can't keep up with all those lives, man.
I know,
You got
No.
not with all. Yeah.
is the best key. Keeping yourself on the high moral standards and integrity is how
Mhm.
we run all businesses that we've ever had. Has it generated success with all the business? Not necessarily, depending upon what industry you're in. Um, but what we found is the honesty. Like Christian said, you cannot keep up with all the lies that you tell if you always lying. So I just tell people just like it is. When we hire a driver, I tell them exactly what to expect because I'm out on the road too. So I know what they're going to expect. And if I'm straightforward with them, that reduces the probability of them lying to me. If you see what I'm saying, like if you get caught
Yeah.
up in a lie, then the person's not going to be honest with you anymore. They might not point, they might not call you out on your lie, but underneath they know that you're not a truthful person. So why would they be truthful towards you and what you got
Boom.
going on?
That's it right there.
Right, right.
Law of equivalent exchange, right? And that goes like into like the ethics of things, right? So in a lot of ways, the partnerships and the profiles, the customer avatars, I always go back to this because I start with myself as an avatar, and it's harder to find people like you, right? Once you start to add different facets. So even little white lies that you tell about how well the business is going or how well the different methods and strategies are working. So a lot of the times we could put a mask over ourselves because we want something to work. We can be so optimistic. And a lot of the times by being honest, we can get that real, that testimony that is, how should I say, constructive criticism, right? But with that, if it's actually a testimony, yes, this works, but right. And people have to feel welcome enough to actually share with you, hey, I like this, I didn't like that. And that's really where I find uh more room more room to grow, and then also adding that to like the ethical responsibility of a community, right? Like there's so many different moving parts within a group, within a family. Let's just even speak on the family dynamics, right? If everyone has a job, everyone has a role, everyone is doing something, whether it be learning or applying the education, being able to be honest within that unit, right, is where I feel like the family dynamic really nails home all of the different moving parts where you can be yourself, right? You can be strange, you can be normal, you can quantify, you know what I'm saying, the different changes that you're making over time. And I'm not a metrics guy, right? I love to focus in on the narrative a lot more times than I'm looking at a number, but time will tell. Numbers don't lie, but they do manipulate, right? So in a
And
lot of
can be
ways, like
manipulated.
there we go. There we go. That's why I love blockchain, right? Everything, yes, you have the option of anonymity, but if I send something to a wallet, right, I know that this is the wallet. There's all these different transactions, there's all these different things that's going on, and all of this can be how should I say, used as a metric moving forward for how well the DeFi aspect of things are functioning, right? So we have the DAO, we have smart contracts, we have different pools and things of the sort. And then on top of that, the development behind it, that's really where I feel like without a strong community, this is from that talk we were in with Crypto Denzel, right? Without a strong community, you don't have a strong project, right?
That's it.
Right. Because that's where they failed at. You know what I mean? They didn't expand no farther past Facebook. And I was like, that was kind of odd because I was like, damn, for y'all to launch this token, I thought y'all was gonna have like a pretty dope community. I mean, the Facebook group is pretty dope. I didn't see why they wasn't over at on X though, because that's where I feel like the crypto community really is builds from X. So, but you know what I mean, it's kind of like lack of knowledge and not knowing. You know what I mean? Trial and error.
Facts.
It
Facts.
definitely
Facts.
is. And honestly, really, I could speak like from a perspective that's been on both sides of that, right? Because I honestly have been the type to I do most of my business by myself on my own. I don't really do partnerships. I definitely wasn't a public person. And like I've told everybody, I didn't learn any of this shit with the intention on using it to like, sell to people or teach people. I never even really thought about teaching people anything like until I signed up with Walt, bro, until Block Cycle Labs. And then I immediately realized I was like, man, the potential that you can really have, like you're taking your potential and just compounding it, right? Because now I have access to all these different sources, all these different skills, all these different talents, all this shit that I don't know, right? Do you know how much I've been able to learn in 6 months about everything that I've learned I didn't know nothing about? I had no idea about crypto. I literally could not send the Bitcoin out of my Cash App to Walt to pay for the first like Google Classroom. I had to send fiat, right? I had one Facebook that was a personal Facebook. I would literally post pictures if we go on vacation or something. Scroll. That's it. Other than that, I just used it for a search engine. And
Right.
now
Right.
I've got every social media that I could think of. A whole community of people. Like it's insane, bro. And now I know how to market. Now I know how to promote. Now I know how to video edit. Now I know how to Zoom. Now I know how to like build a website. There's like so much shit that I didn't know that now I do, and it's all because of the
Marketable
network.
skills.
Yeah,
Purpose, man.
the network, man, the community, the group, bro. I couldn't have done none of that shit
Right.
by myself. You know how long that would have took on my own to go from like no online presence at all to where we're at now. That's
Right.
insane.
Right.
By myself
Establishing
in six
prestige and
months.
credibility.
No way.
Exactly. And like that's like packaging new offers. Like we have a chat coming up in member services talking about like packaging these offers together, right? So in the same way, I was watching the Alex Hormozy video and talking about different things that he did with acquisitions.com in order to help business owners scale from like let's say 100,000 to 200,000, 200,000 and beyond. And in reality, it's really finding different ways for your product or your services to fit in with another niche, right? So a lot of the times that spillover effect allows us to niche down to do more. And I'm a big proponent of that in terms of every goal, if it's large enough, right, then anything that you add to it is a feature. So it allows for more eyes to interact with that one thing to get one thing done. And we're decentralized in terms of the community and the reach that we have, but centralizing the authority under, how should I say, not only hitting a monetary goal, but also having an impact, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I love the idea of being able to use NFTs to really show how well the community is doing in terms of what we're doing for the planet. That's the Meta Environmental Exchange, for example. Like shout out to you, Jojo, once again. It's such a large project where I feel like everyone has the ability to add not only value but to add another function, right? So
And
going
change.
from yes, indeed,
Real world
going from
change though. You know?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to build on that because it'll be a perfect connection with my Oasis X token, right? Because mine's
Yeah.
could connected to the plastic waste management and the atmospheric water. You feel what I'm saying? Then we could connect that with trees. It's all just one. You know what I mean? It's just a no brainer to just go ahead and connect that. You know?
That's awesome. Actually, me and Ricky, who's here with me, we actually are setting up a partnership with this local business we just found out about a few days ago.
Local nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit organization, and it's like an open exchange. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen, but it was amazing. I loved it. You literally just walk in, and everything that's out on the shelves is yours, like free range. You could just grab whatever's there, right? And then like when you first come in, they give you a bag full of hygiene and stuff. Like so, it's like if you say we're homeless, right, or going through some stuff or struggling, or yeah, so they give diapers, they give wipes. Like a bunch of other stuff is like in the package, that you'll get just for coming in, and then you get to go around and like shop. And like me, we were both just like thrown off about it because like we had all, was looking at the stuff and we were just like, well, do we, it's time to check out or what? And they was like, no, you're good. And we was just like, we just walk out with it. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. So I immediately started talking to him about, do you accept cash donations and things like that? And I was like, well, what about crypto? And she was like, no, I don't think we, and I was like, oh, we're we're fixing to set this up right now. Right, because I
Right.
thought that was just an amazing idea. Like these people obviously go and they foot the bill, right? Or but that's the cool thing is you can come and bring your donations in too, right? So all the things that you don't want, all the things that you're going to donate, all those things you can take down there and give to them and donate, and then you can have your pick of all the donations and stuff. It's really amazing as far as like barter and trade goes. I thought it was cool as hell. And like
Fact.
they don't charge nobody anything.
And that's another thing, like with the nonprofit organizations, like today with
And
the
it's a
Light
tax
Collective.
write-off.
There we go. The nonprofit aspect, and then the faith-based organizations, 508,
Yeah,
1CAs,
it's
different
cool.
things
So
of the
we're
sort.
setting that up. You guys got the dude. This is amazing, really.
Faith-based.
Next
Yeah,
level.
Yeah, my
it
trust is
really is.
already set up as that, like an unincorporated entity.
Yeah.
Sure.
We got a minute and
So
37 left, right? Is two of them enough, or do we need to hop on another one?
honestly, actually have to head out. I gotta head to that meeting. I would love to hop onto another one, but I mean, there's so much value here. I really just want to add like this point in being all of the fundraising and all of the goals, like the Salvation Army is allowing people to turn in clothing items, book bags. The Light Collective is accepting
Oh,
notebooks,
and
binders, toiletries, all of that. And we
Nasut
can
just
actually
got
tie that all together.
sponsored. Nasut got sponsored by Save a Lot too for the food drives he does. I go ahead. I just had to throw that in because that's
Yeah,
amazing.
see,
Oh yeah, I
that's
forgot.
real
I'm
world.
I'm sponsored by Save a Lot too, with my other
Yeah. Oh
nonprofit
shit.
too.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I be
fire.
doing blessing bag giveaways all the time.
That's dope, bro. That's
More
so
room to
dope.
expand. I would love to have. I'm gonna add something in there about fundraising and nonprofits and member services and see if we can expand on that system too, because that's real life impact right there. And I really
And
appreciate you
wait,
all today. Of course.
yeah, man.
I
Wait
want
till they see the
to
music
add
label,
into it.
bro. It's gonna be the first of its kind.